Daniel Martinez, who spent 8 months in jail for a struggle snuggle he didn't commit, readies to sue the state as Judge Robert Newlands attacks his trial as lazy. Oh, so he even has another judge on his side. That is a good sign right there. When even other judges are like, yeah, this is a miscarriage of justice right here, should be looked into. Now, a man who spent 8 months in jail over a struggle snuggle he did not commit is prepping to sue the state after a judge suggested political expediency stopping him from being acquitted within minutes. Oh, and this is man, when you hear the details of this case, this is an egregious miscarriage of justice right here. This is almost at the level of the Duke Lacrosse case where they pretty much knew he was innocent, but they didn't care because they wanted a political victory. Daniel Martinez is seeking compensation after he spent 8 months in prison on remand before he was acquitted of sexually assaulting a woman at a jury trial, where her previous history of near-identical false allegations against other men was not heard by the jury. What is this woman still doing free? She's the one who should be in jail. The fact that she's still out there falsely accusing other men, now that is one of the biggest farces in this entire story. Her ass needs to be in jail for like 20 years. Now, Mr. Martinez could win damages over $400,000 if he sues for malicious prosecution, false imprisonment, or even assault and battery. He could probably get them all. The state of New South Wales could also be up for hundreds of thousands in legal costs if this goes to court and the state loses. This is pretty much saying it would be in their best interests if they just paid. Just pay him the money and avoid paying the legal fees. Because even if the state wins, it's not like this guy's going to have the money to pay the legal fees. He just spent 8 months in prison. And everyone thinks that he snuggled a woman. You think he's going to be able to get a job again with like that? You're never going to recoup any money from him, even if you win. Just pay it. Yeah, you guys are the ones that did wrong. So Mr. Martinez's case has raised concerns about whether those accused of sexual crimes are being accorded the presumption of being fully accorded the presumption of innocence in the wake of the Me Too movement. Well, obviously not. Well, when it comes to sexual crimes, you're guilty until proven innocent. I'm glad they're finally starting to question that. So after a judge stated he believed there were secret policies leading to seriously flawed evidence being used to justify sexual assault prosecutions, an audit was announced of 400 such cases by the Office of New South Wales Director of Public Prosecutions, Sally Dowling. 5 New South Wales District Court judges have criticized the office of Miss Dowling for bringing hopeless sexual assault cases to court. Well, at some point, I think they have to at least bring it to court, even if they know it's hopeless, so they can then claim, "Oh, look, we're not just sitting back and doing nothing. Oh, we're doing our jobs." The New South Wales Attorney General Michael DeLay has also faced questions in state parliament about whether prosecutions are being launched without any reasonable prospect of conviction on the basis of secret internal policies informed by recent law changes. This is obviously yes. Mr. DeLay said he was advised, or was advised prosecutors. I think is meant to say, Mr. DeLay said he has advised prosecutors to stick to the publicly available prosecution guidelines. But what did you tell him to do behind closed doors, though? The wink, wink, nudge, nudge part of it. That's what we want to hear. He refused to comment on the audit being undertaken and said if specific details of the review are a matter of the Director of Public Prosecutions. In reviewing the case of Mr. Martinez to certify costs, Judge Robert Newlands said that had the jury known about 5 near-identical accusations made about other men by the complainant, the accused man would have been acquitted within minutes. Why is this woman not arrested? She's done this to 6 men now. Why is she not in prison? Why is this guy not suing her? All 5 of these guys should get together and sue that bitch. So I think the prosecution took the lazy and perhaps politically expedient course of identifying that the complainant alleged she had been sexually assaulted, and without properly considering the question of whether there was evidence to support that allegation. This is what listen and believe looks like. The evidence? Well, where there's smoke, there's fire. A woman wouldn't be accusing a man of something so heinous if he did nothing. Judge Newland stated the jury should have been allowed to decide on the basis of all pertinent information. This must stop. Justice has not been served and will not be served by repeated cases being prosecuted based on obviously flawed evidence. The complainant alleged that she was blacked out due to drunkenness before Mr. Martinez sexually assaulted her. However, the trial heard she enthusiastically participated in sex and consent was obtained every step of the way. The case raised concerns over New South Wales legislation that does not allow juries to hear tendency evidence that would expose patterns of behavior in prior sexual history. Those accused of sexual crimes are also now denied committal hearing and must show that there was affirmative consent for sexual acts. Yeah, this is what's called guilty until proven innocent. If you're accused, you have to prove you were innocent. They don't have to prove you were guilty. So lawyer Ben Wilcox, who acted for Mr. Martinez, said that the cumulative charges were changing the way sex crimes are being treated by prosecutors. The changes, according to the Australian. The introduction of the affirmative consent provisions challenged the presumption of innocence, he said. Yeah, that provision itself should be deemed unconstitutional, at least if it was in the U.S. I know that outside of the U.S., a lot of countries don't enjoy the same rights. But this would be a blatant violation right there. So this, in my view, has had an impact on in terms of how the ODPP approach their assessment of sexual assault allegations and the prosecutorial guidelines for which they are bound. Following his judgment on the wrongful imprisonment of Mr. Martinez, Ms. Dowling made a complaint against Judge Newlands to the New South Wales Judicial Commission, but the outcome of this has not been made public. Yeah, unfortunately, the one-based judge that spoke out, the system, of course, mobilized against him. Oh, if you're not just going to shut up and do as you're told and be a good cog in the machine, I guess we got to get rid of you. Yeah, we need a false accuser registry. Exactly.